I'm back again with another haul video. Most of the books in this haul video are from a recent trip I went on where I picked up a bunch of books. I don't live near a bookstore, so whenever we travel, I typically go a little crazy in the bookstore. And then also just a couple little things that we picked up at Daiso. But before I get into my vacation haul, I did get a couple of Yen Press Eyes Press pre-orders and a review copy. So I'll get into those first. So first I got Loverboy Volume 4. I am really excited to have this volume. This is my favorite cover just because of how gorgeous the guys look. This is one that I have already read digitally, but it's been really exciting getting the physicals as they release. But this one is an age gap romance that has a lot of focus on unrequited love. These two were childhood friends, neighbors. One is, I forget now, about a decade older than the other. And they knew each other when he was little and he was a teen. And then they were separated for quite a while before they re-encounter when he is a university student and he's already a working adult. There's a lot of angst and pain in this series, but I enjoy it. But it is rated mature. It is quite spicy, but it's only 5 volumes, so I haven't read my volume 3 physical, and then I haven't read this one because I just got it. So we'll probably read 3 and 4 soon, and then we'll wait for volume 5, which is the finale volume, and we'll be looking forward to that. Next is volume 1 of Keyaki Shopping District's Sakura Bathhouse. And this was a review copy that Yen Press sent to me. I hadn't even heard of this one until I got that review copy, so I got into it right away. And I honestly have a little bit of mixed feelings about it because I do like the premise and the setting and some of the tropes and the dynamic I like, but then it does have some tropes that I'm not crazy about. So the story follows this misunderstood delinquent. He's a second year in high school. He has all of these rumors going around about him among the students, including this third-year upperclassman. And then one day he's running and jumps over the school gate and knocks this guy over and protects him from hitting his head on the ground, but in the process ends up hurting his arm. So the upperclassman fears retaliation from this delinquent, so agrees to help him at his family's bathhouse because he's not able to do all the work anymore with his injury, as well as helping him bathe because he has that arm injury. So I'm a big fan of the misunderstood delinquent who is actually sweet and kind, but pretty quickly there is a confession followed by unwanted pursuit. And that's a trope that I'm not crazy about, so not 100% on this one. But I did find out after reading that this writer-artist duo is the same duo that did Minato's Laundromat. And I didn't realize until the very end when they go to a laundromat, and that's supposed to be like a little Easter egg, but then in the author's note it mentions this is actually set in the same universe as Minato's Laundromat. So that's a cool little detail. If you like that series, then you might like this one too, with the characters having a bit of a different dynamic, both being high schoolers, but then kind of having a similar unrequited love and pursuit when one person is not really interested and the other person is determined to continue confessing their feelings over and over. But I forgot, I think, to show the back cover, so if you want to pause to read the official blurb, here it is. But enjoyed parts of this, and I'm not sure if I'm going to continue following this one just because I enjoyed the first half more than the second half. I do like the comedy in it though. But again, if you're a fan of Minato's Laundromat, then you'll probably enjoy this one as well. And then we got a pre-order in for Sword Art Online Aincrad Volume 4. So my husband and I are fans of the anime series. Aincrad is my favorite arc. And then for manga, we're also collecting Phantom Bullet and then Aincrad, which is the second release of this arc, but with a different art style. So I am planning to read the Sword Art Online manga volumes that we've picked up, but this one isn't complete yet. So maybe I should read the Phantom Bullet one because that one is complete in our collection. And then I'll still wait to read this one until it finishes its print release, but here's the blurb. Well, this is volume 4, so that might be spoiler if you're not familiar with this story already. But I don't know. I don't really know what to say about this one other than just it is a focus on video games, as the main character is stuck in a video game, and it is high stakes because if you die in the video game, then you die in real life. I don't know. It's kind of, I think, described as like a harem series just because all the girls like this main character, but I kind of don't feel like it is because he just has one person that he likes back and he can't help that all the girls like him. But I don't know. I feel like with Sword Art Online, people either love it or they hate it. And I'm in the love it camp. So happy to have this new release. Okay. And then into the vacation books. So like I said in the beginning of the video, we don't live near a bookstore. There is one bookstore near us actually, but they typically only carry like 6 volumes of manga, kind of rotating through the most popular series like My Hero Academia and like Demon Slayer. So I can't really get my books there because they don't carry all of the series that I read and like new releases or any danmei. So whenever we go to the city, I'm always really excited to visit the bookstore there. And then whenever we travel, then I really go crazy. And while we were traveling, Barnes & Noble had a double stamps weekend, so definitely took advantage of that. But I'll just go through all the books that we picked up this time. Starting with A Man and His Cat, Volume 5. I was so happy that we found this one because it had the 5 on the spine, which is the reason why I was looking for this volume in person, because the first print of this release did not have the number printed on the spine. So I was seeing like in bookstores, in secondhand listings, in people's posts on Instagram, on their bookshelves, all the books lined up with the numbers on the spine, but volume 5 did not have a number. So when I decided to collect this series, I ordered all the volumes except for volume 5 so that I could purchase volume 5 in person. And I feel like it's been like maybe 8 months since I picked up the series. I don't think it's been a year yet, but I haven't been able to find, until now, I hadn't been able to find a copy that had the number printed on the spine. Like with secondhand listings, all the ones I saw did not have the number. And then my local stores didn't have the one with the number either. So I was really happy to find this one. So now my collection of this series is complete. It's ongoing still, but my collection that I have is complete. I think 1 to 14. And now I have this one. And I think I forgot to say anything about this series, but this is a seinen slice of life series that follows this man who has recently become a widower. And after losing his wife, he adopts this cat who helps him through his grieving process and to meet new people, as well as have some things in common with the people that he knew before but wasn't close with. There is a lot of pet owner content, but there is more to the story than just the man and his cat. A lot about handling grief, and then a lot about relationships with people, family members, work colleagues, and more. And it's a really emotional series for me, and I really like it. Another pickup on our trip was Rascal Does Not Dream of a Dear Friend. And this is volume 15 of the light novel series and is the final volume. So I haven't read it yet. I'm caught up through volume 14 of the novels, so I am looking forward to reading this, but I'm going to let my husband read it first because he is also a big fan of this series. And I'm honestly kind of bummed that it's so skinny. Volume 14 is also really skinny, and I kind of wish that volumes 14 and 15 had just been one book because they're so skinny. But we first got into this series through the anime. We really like the anime. So it has season 1, and then I think 2 movies. And then season 2 just aired last year, and then the final movie is going to be releasing soon, I think, which will cover the last 2 light novel volumes. So 2 anime seasons with 3 movies that kind of fit in between, covering all 15 of the novels. But we really like the anime. It is a seinen, kind of sci-fi high school set, slice of life romance series. And basically every novel follows the main character as he becomes entangled with a different female character who is having like sci-fi problems, and he is able to step in and kind of help them to get things sorted out. But even though there are all these different female side characters, he does have one person that he is interested in and pursuing from start to finish. So this one too is kind of like set up like a harem, but it is kind of not a harem. But looking forward to reading this one. Hopefully my husband will get to it soon so that I can get to it next. The next one is a BL volume, Fated Not to Meet. And I actually just got a review copy of volume 2, so I'm excited to reread this copy and then get into volume 2. But I'll put the official blurb here if you want to pause. But this series follows these two guys on the cover that are work colleagues. They're both salarymen, and one of them agrees to help one of his friends who is working on a gay dating app. So he's meant to just make a profile and interact with other members, and he's not expected to do anything beyond that. But then he plans a meetup with another person on the app who ends up being his coworker, who he was not close to at all, despite on the app having a lot in common with him. But this volume is pretty spicy, if I remember correctly. Oh yeah, I'm glancing at the back while I'm talking, and it says here that the guy that he is meeting up with is actually his rival at work. So rivals to lovers. But looking forward to getting into volume 2. I'm probably going to read it this week, and then I believe volume 2 releases the end of March. So we'll be looking forward to that. Next, I picked up this series, Birds of Shangri-La, volumes 1 to 3. So this one is ongoing, but this mangaka's titles are so slow to release. I'm also collecting Coyote, which I really enjoy. And that one is currently at 4 volumes and ongoing. And I'm just so impatiently waiting for more information, when it's going to continue. I'm not sure if that series or this series are on hiatus at all in Japan, or if they're just serializing really slowly in their magazines. But this is one that I've read before, and I do like this series. It follows the main character who works, this guy who works at a brothel, and then this guy who gets a divorce and is being sued, and I don't remember if he loses his job. But then he has a friend who has connections to the brothel, and his friend thinks it will give him a change of pace and will ultimately help him to go and start working at the brothel, not as a sex worker, but just like as a helper, helping behind the scenes. So then he dives into this whole new world that he was completely unfamiliar with before. But then apart from the brothel setting and kind of his getting used to the work that he's doing now, the story has kind of this underlying plot about this guy's past and what drove him to work at this brothel, and the owner of the brothel who kind of saved a lot of people, and like working there has been like a lifeline for them. So I'm really excited for the series to continue with volume 4. I am, like, just from the aesthetics, like, I love this cover. This cover for volume 3 is so gorgeous. But I'm kind of bummed that the physicals, like, look! So this one is skinny. This one is just normal. And then this one is so chunky. And I was looking at the table of contents, and volume 1 had 5 chapters. And then volume 2 had 6 chapters. And then volume 3 had like 8 chapters. Let me double check. Yeah, 8 chapters plus a bonus chapter. All of them have bonus chapters, but 5, 6, and 8. So no wonder it's so chunky. But then I kind of don't want to complain, because then that's like content that we got. Like, I'm imagining if we only got 5 chapters and then we just didn't get the next 3 until volume 4 released. But really enjoy the story. Can't wait for the story to continue. And I realized I didn't show the back covers. So for volume 1, I'll hold it up so that you can pause if you want to read the volume 1 blurb. But Read and Mature, these are really spicy volumes. He's so beautiful. I love this mangaka's art style so much. I can't tell if it's focusing because I'm sitting at a different angle with my camera today. But happy to have this series now and hoping we'll get some news about this story continuing. And then at that point, I'll do a celebration reread. And then I've got a bunch of danmei, but before I get into the danmei, I'm going to share a couple other miscellaneous things that we picked up on the trip. So from Daiso, we got a couple little things. Well, we got more than this, but I felt like it was a little unnecessary to share everything because we got like a couple little like zipper pouches, some little notebooks, some stationery items like greeting cards and like sticky notes, like a few trading card holder things. And I've actually already taken those and put them to use with my trading cards and like top loaders and stuff, and it's perfect. But I wanted to just share these couple things that I feel like are a little more like anime manga related and like collection. So we got this 2-tier display stand. They had a couple versions. So this was one version with the 2 tiers and then each tier kind of having like a little bit of a wall. And then there was one that was like 3-tiered, but then it didn't have the edges. So we went with this one and I'm excited about it because my husband has been getting a lot of like small standees. And I feel like they look so cluttery on his shelf when he just has all of them. But now with this, he'll have 2 tiers plus like the ground in front of it to have it a bit more stacked and hopefully make it look less chaotic. Mainly for his near shelves. And then also he has some My Dress Up Darling mini standees on the way. And I was just thinking, like, how is he going to display those and it not look really chaotic? For my collection, I have some like ringha mini standees, but I kind of separate them on different shelves. So I personally don't feel like they look chaotic. But then I am about to order a bunch of mini like acrylic blocks that are pretty small. And I think there are going to be like 6 to 8 of them. So I was thinking maybe I could keep one for myself. I'm not sure how and where on my shelves I'm going to display them. And then also my Bungo Stray Dog shelf has a bunch of mini standees, but that one too, I have 2 separate shelves. So I've been able to kind of spread everything out so it doesn't look too chaotic, but we got 3 of these. So we're going to try them out and see how they look, but feeling hopeful about it. And then there was this little like photo card holder, this little collect book, and Peace Begins with a Smile. I just love the colors of it. There were 2 of them, like a white with like beige, and then a beige one with white flowers. But I don't really use like small collect books because I would rather have them like in my big album, because I don't really have many series that I collect like in full. I just collect like a few here and there. But the reason I got this one is for all of my little ringha cards and like mini Polaroid printouts that my friends have sent me. And I've like accumulated a lot of them. And then some that I normally keep in top loaders that just kind of sit in a pile. I was kind of wanting to move all of them into this little book. And it could be my little ringha one and go on my Love of Kill shelf. So I am excited to put this on my shelf, get it into use. And then it has this little spot I can put a keychain. So really excited to use this one. I hope it'll be as cute as I'm envisioning. And then lastly, this little A5 case. This is probably not like a big deal to people, but I love like this little document case. This is so perfect. So last time I went to Daiso, I got an A4 document case and a B5 document case, and I love them. I actually use them quite a lot to like store things and to transport things in that size, like particularly prints and doujinshi. And so I'm happy to add another common size. So like A5 and B5 are the like two most common doujinshi sizes. And then same with prints, A5 and A4. So I knew that this would come in handy and went ahead and picked it up. I was tempted to like get a few more, like to get a second A5 and get another A4, but I didn't have a lot of room in my luggage. So I was just trying to choose sparingly, but then I knew I would use this one. So happy to get this one. And then one more thing before I get into my danmei volumes is this Vietnamese Food Any Day. So it's a cookbook. I love cooking. I know this isn't really anime manga related, but I don't care. I thought I would share it because I got it on this trip along with all my other stuff, and cookbooks are another part of my collection, actually underneath my Sanji shrine, which is perfect because Sanji is the cook in the Straw Hats in One Piece. And so I keep all my cookbooks underneath his shelf. But I really like different cultural cookbooks, and I have quite a few, and I really love them. I have some Japanese cookbooks, Scandinavian cookbooks, Polish, Turkish, Indian, Russian, Filipino, and there were a couple others that I was wanting to find soon. So one was Vietnamese, so I'm happy to have this one now. There were actually a few other Vietnamese cookbooks that I had my eye on, but as I found them and like flipped through them a bit, I kind of didn't like the aesthetic, but also like the type of things that they had in them. Even though I love cookbooks, I'm also like super picky about like what they contain, as well as like the aesthetics of like their food photography and stuff. But I was really excited that I liked this one, so I picked it up. And then the main one that I'm looking for now is a Korean cookbook that does not have like a ton of meat in it. So I'm just on the lookout for a good Korean cookbook. Feel free to send me some recommendations if you have any that you like. But I'm excited to get into this. I've just been kind of flipping through and looking at it and enjoying it. My favorite thing with like ethnic cookbooks are the like resource pages in the beginning, and this one has like 45 pages of just like the basics and like information about like the type of pantry and like things you need to know about Vietnamese cooking before actually getting into recipes. So excited to try some of these out. Okay, and now into danmei. So first I have a new priest title to add to my collection, Silent Reading. So this actually released in December, but I had pre-ordered the special edition and it's in the mail still. I ordered it along with a few other things that weren't going to release until like end of January. And so the company I ordered with held everything until everything was ready, and then they shipped, and it's media mail, so it's taking forever to get to me. But I, on this trip, went ahead and picked up the regular volume 1 mainly because of the spine. I think this series is going to be, let me check. Yeah, the series is going to be 6 volumes, and the special edition has the spine text with silver foil. And the rest of the volumes aren't going to have silver foil, so I was thinking about how much that was going to bug me because I'm really particular about things matching and like looking nicely together on the shelf. So I figured I would pick up this regular edition so that the volume 1 spine would match the future volumes. But then also I'm just kind of disappointed with 7C's, like the direction they've gone with their special edition extras. Like, I feel like it was the norm that they would release a special edition with the final volume, and it would have postcards of all of the covers, and then a poster or 2, and then like a bookmark and a sticker sheet. But more recently, they've been releasing special editions with volume 1. And so at that point, they don't have all of the covers done yet for the series, so they can't do postcard prints of all of the volumes. So then they include like a notebook or like miscellaneous prints that aren't the cover illustrations, which is fine. Like for Run Wild Volume 1, I got that special edition. It came with like a notebook and then like character cards of the 3 main characters with little like information and bios on the back, plus like a bookmark and a sticker sheet. But for silent reading, like I feel like we've been cheated because it came with the typical bookmark and sticker sheet and a notebook. And then instead of prints, they did 2 police ID badges. And so when they announced that, I thought they were going to be like die cut prints, or they were going to be like almost like coasters with like a thicker material to make them more substantial than just like a small print. But no, they're just like square prints that like cut off the artwork and just have like kind of white edges, and they look so bad. And I'm so frustrated that this is a series that I've been really excited to read, and the cover is beautiful. The next 2 covers have already had their reveals and they look stunning as well. And the special edition, which is the same price as other danmei series that have had like 8+ prints and posters and just like so much more value to the special edition. I feel like we were so cheated with the silent reading special edition, and I'm just dreading like the next special editions to come, like what they're going to give us and like what the value is going to be, because it's going to be the same price regardless of what they give us. But anyways, I haven't read this yet, so I can't give like a premise. It is a modern set danmei. I'll put this up here if you want to pause and read the official blurb. But I really like priest storytelling, so I'm looking forward to getting into this one. And I'm a modern day danmei enjoyer, so I'm obviously looking forward to this one. And ironically, the next title that I picked up is another special edition. And this is one that I read. I read this series in December. It's a 4-volume series, and I loved it, but I read the ebooks because I didn't think I was going to like it. But my friends kept recommending it to me, so I was like, I'll read it. But I didn't think I would like it, but I loved it. And after finishing it, I wanted to pick up the volumes and then also get the special edition of Volume 4, because I guess this was in the era of prints, because this one did have prints. Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just partial to prints over other merch items, but like 9 prints, a sticker sheet, and a bookmark compared to like a cheapy notebook and then really poorly made badges, like, and a bookmark and sticker sheet. Like, I don't know. Anyways, so this one has the 4-volume covers. And I love that with prints like this, they give the wraparound, because like the back cover has these things that cover the illustration, but then you get that other half of the illustration on the print. And usually, yeah, they'll have a full color spread inside. But then like you can't display this. So I'm really happy that I have these now. And then on the back side of the postcards, it has these little floral illustrations, and then the koi and the pot. And then the other prints. So these are done, I assume these are done by the same artist. Like these are by the same artist and these are by a different artist. And I'm not like in love with the art of these ones, but as soon as I finished reading this, I was searching around if there was any fan art or anything. So of course, I just need to pick up any official art that I can get first. But I love the backings of these ones. So we actually made these after reading so much about them eating these pastries. I begged my husband to try making this for us so that I could experience it. And I asked him because I'm a terrible baker. I am absolutely terrible at baking pastries. Like, I enjoy cooking, but I do not enjoy baking. And then I really love the meaning behind these two illustrations. I need to have these little things on display somehow. I'll figure it out. But these are really special. And then I can't decide between these two. These are my favorite covers, Volume 2 and Volume 4. I think I like this one more because it's just so beautiful. But then the meaning behind this one, just him being so obsessed with like wanting to get him a hairpin and just like the detail in his accessories and his clothing. Oh, I love it. And then one more print of their little family. So cute. And I don't know why the back is yellow. I don't know if this is supposed to be like a faux shikishi or something. And then this bookmark, which is hilarious. So when he is, I forget how they said it, but like a merman, and then I forget. I forgot what it was called. But like where his top half is human and his bottom half is fish. And then his top half is fish and his bottom half is human. So this is just so funny and ridiculous to look at. But I love it. So the bookmark, and then lastly the sticker sheet. And I haven't actually looked too closely at it before right now, but it's so cute. Their family, and then them as fish and the fish babies. Oh, I love this so much. And then his bowl, his tea bowl. So this is Prince Jing, him and his little traveling carrier. I can't remember now if these are side characters. Oh, this is, I think, his cousin's wife or something who loves animals. Maybe it's his cousin and his cousin's dog. I can't tell, but this makes me so happy. I haven't been able to find like fan art for this series other than there's one artist that like just released a fan art, and it's so pretty of Liu underwater. It's so beautiful. So I know that they once in a while will open a print shop, and they're based in Europe. So I'm going to have to pay attention so that I don't miss out on ordering that if it releases for like a physical print release. But super happy with this special edition. And yeah, it does say shikishi. So it definitely is not, it's not a shikishi board. It's like the size of one, but like this is just like print paper, but whatever. Not complaining because look how cute they are. Oh! But I loved this read so much. I read it in December and just binged through the whole thing because it was so fun, really funny, really cute. And I have so much danmei that I'm planning to read in 2026, so I'm going to be busy for a while, but I really want to do a reread of this series from my physicals so that I can tab and annotate them, because there were so many just like really sweet, really cute, really fun moments. And I want to have them marked and I want to have them tabbed so I can go back and just like when I need a pick me up, just go to those moments and enjoy them. And lastly, if you've been looking at this corner of the screen through the whole video, I had a big pickup on our trip of 7 hardcover volumes of Heaven Official's Blessing. So, they're stacked from in opposite order, so I'll unstack them real quick so I can share them in order. But this is a series that a couple of my friends love, and I just hadn't read it because I am not drawn to historical series just in general. I don't dislike historical series, but I'm just not really drawn to it unless it's a series that a friend loves. Then I'll get into it and I'll be like, oh, hey, I like this. But just on my own, I probably wouldn't have read it. But so I wanted to, when I got into danmei, I wanted to read as much of the modern danmei that I could. And I've read a ton of it since 2025. Before then, getting into historical danmei. But over the past couple months, I've been so tempted by these volumes without having read the series because of how beautiful the hardcover release was. The dust jackets with all the detail, new illustrations, foil detail, and then having the different red covers with foil underneath, and then the sprayed edges. So I guess I'll just show each of the volumes, even though I'm late to this. So you've probably already seen a bunch of people picking up these books and sharing them over the past several months. And here I am in February 2026. But I couldn't find volume 1 anywhere. I was in a big city and went to as many bookstores as I could and could not find volume 1. But I picked up volumes 2 to 8. And I had finally given myself permission to buy these because I read volume 1. I had the ebook and I finally read volume 1. So then I felt like, okay, I'm allowed to spend all this money because I've put in the work. And now that I have these physicals, I'm going to continue my read through with volume 2 in my physical volumes, and I'm so excited about it. But before reading volume 1, years ago, I watched the donghua, just maybe 4 episodes. And at that point, I had not been reading any supernatural series. So I was kind of scared by the Ghost Groom arc. I thought it was so creepy, everything with the brides. So I just kind of stopped watching it and thought it wouldn't be for me. And then years later, with the manhwa release last year, Aincrad sent me a review copy of the first volume of the manhwa. And I enjoyed it. I really liked the art style of Star Ember's adaptation of the story. It was so beautiful. Every page was like a painting. And just the vibe of the story felt different with that art style compared to the humor and action of the donghua. So then I was just really curious, what is the vibe like in the danmei compared to the other two? So I was at a point that I was ready to start getting into more historical danmei. And then I was curious about it after having read the manhwa. And then actually after reading the manhwa, my husband read it too. So then we got back into the donghua and watched another 3 or 4 episodes. So I was like, okay, I'm ready to get into the danmei. So I read volume 1 and I enjoyed it. And I'm really looking forward to reading more of it. And I picked up the hardcovers. I feel really bummed that I missed out on, I'm too late to get the special edition for the paperbacks. And I'm really disappointed because I love the cover illustrations. And so I really would love to be able to get the special edition for the prints, the 8 prints of the volume covers. So even though I'm too late, I'm still going to keep an eye out and be hopeful. Oh, I forgot to show the sprayed edges, and it has a ribbon bookmark. And also, another reason I was so tempted to pick these up in person was because I really don't like ordering hardbacks online to be delivered, especially if they have dust jackets, if they're not wrapped. And I forgot that they have end papers too with different illustrations. If they're not wrapped, because just in store, I saw so many of these copies that the dust jackets were ripped. If they weren't ripped, they were totally beat up from people just like pulling on them. The actual books themselves having scratching all over the page edges, and then the hardcover being dented or torn. So once I decided I wanted to pick these up, I wanted to get them in person. But I'm just blown away by how gorgeous these covers are. And I'm realizing right now that the microphone is between me and the book, so I'm sorry if I'm being too noisy with the books. But the spine, the foil for the title on the dust jacket matches the foil on the covers of the book, and they alternate between silver and gold, which is a cool little detail. Oh, I might have forgotten to show. I'll show all of this. I'll show the page edges at the end because they're connecting. But just, I'm such a sucker for like special editions and like extra details, and I knew I wouldn't be able to resist unless I didn't like the story, which is why I made myself read volume 1 before letting myself pick up the volumes. I'm excited to like understand more about the meaning behind the details on the covers as it goes. Like, even though I haven't read more than volume 1 so far, I've seen spoilers online, just like from my friends on Instagram, gushing about things, and I'm just like, okay, now I know that little detail. That was probably meant to be a twist, but I'm still excited to like get to those little details, because like I know little bits of like even the content that was in volume 1. I know little bits of things, but it's kind of fun watching how it's all kind of pieced together. Okay, so final volume 8. I think this one just released in like the end of January. So hey, I'm not too late. Picking this one up. Still need to read all of it though. I love all the detail though, like the little foil. So pretty. So, yeah, I have all these now. Oh, I forgot I was going to show the... Ooh. Ooh. So I am missing book 1 still. And I'm not going to order online because I know that it will get damaged in transit if I do. And one of my friends said she's going to look for it in the store because she lives in a city. And if she can find one for me, I'll be so happy. I don't think I can fit it all on screen, but as you can see, it's not just sprayed edges for each book, but they're actually connecting illustrations. Like here, he is going on to this cover and his, I forget what this thing is called, his ribbon is going across. And then I can't wait to like learn all the details and like the meaning behind certain things. And then I'm missing volume 1. Volume 1 goes here. Oh, and I was pointing to stuff and I don't know if I was off camera. Oh, it's so pretty though. I've been seeing people who have the paperbacks having the spines on display and then having the hard covers with the page edges on display, and it looks so cool. But I feel like I'm probably gonna display the spines out, even though I think the page edges are really cool, just because I love how colorful and like bright and vibrant all of these spines are. Like this, the reds and oranges, and then these blues are so vivid. Oh! But I'm so excited to read them. I was intending to do like a binge of like 1 to 8 all in one go. But then after I read volume 1 and decided to pick up the hardcovers, I was kind of like, well, I don't have to rush now because I've got them. And there are actually a couple other series that I feel a bit more urgent to read because of some releases coming up. Like I started reading The Husky and His White Cat, which is a longer series too. It's 11 volumes, but volume 11 releases, I think, in March, and it's a special edition. And so I kind of want to have read 1 through 10 before volume 11 releases so I can decide if I want to pick up the special edition, if I want to pick up the whole series or not. Because for danmei, I will typically read the ebooks for the volumes because they're either cheaper to kind of see if I like the series and want to add it to my collection, but then also the ebooks are more readily available to rent. So wanting to, for that series, get into it before the special edition releases. So then I thought about reading some of that series and then volume 2 and then some of that series and then volume 3, but I don't want to like mix anything up as the story goes or forget anything important. And now I'm doing it kind of as a buddy read with my friend who is into volume 3. She's going to just continue and I'm going to try to catch up and buddy read it with her. So I feel bad that now I have these beautiful volumes and I don't think I'm going to continue for like a month or something. Like I'm really excited to continue, but when my friends are ready to buddy read, I gotta pause and go buddy read with them. So adding these new danmei volumes to my collection, along with these new BL pickups and a few other miscellaneous titles. But honestly, we just got back to town and I wanted to film this ASAP because whenever I have new books, I will like leave them off to the side and let them start stacking up until I do a haul video. But I really want to get these on my shelves so that I can just stare at them every day being set up and being gorgeous. So I was thinking I need to get this haul video done right away so I can get these put on my shelves. But I hope you enjoyed watching. I sure had a lot of fun shopping and getting these books. And really looking forward to reading the rest of this series, getting into this new series, hopefully getting back around to this one later this year. But now for the rest of the evening, I'm going to work on my shelves and make room for these new books. And I'll see you again soon in another video. Thanks for watching.